My name is Cindy Barton, and I'm so happy that you came out today for an iCant workshop. This is our first iCant workshop for this month, this, I guess, semester, if you put it into college terms. But anyway, we're so happy that you're here. Can I ask you just to raise your hand if this is your first time? Yay! We are so happy to have you here at Tulsa Community College. So this building was built, I don't know, it was built with Vision 2025 funds. Can you guys believe that's been that long ago? I'm like, how old am I? But so our mission is to bring free arts events that are free and open to the public, not just students, not just people who live in Tulsa. You can be from anywhere. You can come to these workshops, and they're absolutely free, all supplies provided. And today we have the awesome Nathan Harmon, who is here to tell us about taking portraits and photography. And then at 11, we're going to, this is only till 10:45, and then at 11, we'll go into the iCant Sculpt workshop. So if you signed up for iCant Sculpt and we didn't take your registration for that, maybe see us again so we can just mark you off the list. But I'm just going to hand it over to Nathan, and let's get started.
Okay. Welcome. And seriously, thank you for coming out on a Saturday morning. I think we're going to have a little bit of fun. It's going to go really quick. How many of you guys brought a camera? Excellent. And for those of you guys that did not bring a camera, well, you can always do the same exact thing with this device. We're going to call it a device. I always call it a phone, but it's a device. With more power of computing than the entire set of computers from the 90s. So keep that in mind. I have a constant light. So this is a video light. So think of this as just a window. So instead of me, cutting a hole in the building, we decided we're going to set up a window. My models, AKA my daughter and my wife, apparently had some sort of like an eyelash issue, so they're not here yet. So I'm going to require somebody from the audience. If I have a brave soul that would like to volunteer, I will. And if not, I'll recruit Cindy. So, excellent. Okay, come on up. So this does not go on your permanent record, but we're going to have a little bit of fun. I'm going to go over some of the basics of portraits. So a little bit about myself before you come have a seat. Nathan Harmon, a.k.a. Professor Harmon, a.k.a. Mr. Harmon. Just Nathan is the way I would prefer to be called, but that's okay. I teach upstairs, so up on the third floor we have here at the Center for Creativity, we have the digital media and the art department. So lots of things from Photoshop to video editing, Premiere Pro, Final Cut Pro. We have an amazing studio, 2 studios right here behind us. But today we're just going to focus on portraits. We're going to keep things relatively simple. If you guys have questions, hold those till about halfway through. We're going to go ahead and just kind of walk through some of the basics. And hopefully we have a little bit of fun. But yeah, if you have questions, I'm here for you. And then since so many of you guys brought cameras, about halfway through, maybe we can have a little bit of a breakout. We might even pull up some of these shades so you guys can take advantage of some of the window light. Because, like I said, this is kind of mimicking a window, but we can't really have a portable window, so we're going to do this. But no strobes, and I did that on purpose for you guys. So generally when you go to a studio, you're going to have like a flashing light. In this case, we're just going to have a constant light. Once I wake the computer up, hopefully you'll be able to see what we're doing. I'm tethering. So what I shoot, you should be able to see on the screen. And, but more importantly, don't be afraid. You can always get a little bit closer. And hopefully with these photographs and maybe some of these tips, you can savvy up your social and upgrade your LinkedIn profile, something like that. Okay, so let's wake this up. I do see that my wife and kiddo have arrived, but I'm going to start out with you anyway, because you were brave and you volunteered, and I love that. So we're going to do a little test shot, and then we're going to see how this goes. What's your name? Quill. Okay, Quill. Everybody, Quill, brave soul. Yes. All right. So first thing I do is whenever I'm doing a portrait is the top of the eyes. I want to see nice catch lights in the eyes. So what do they say? The eyes are the gateway to the soul. The catch lights indicate that you are alive and vibrant and with it. I do always like for my catch lights to be at the top of the eyes, and that's based off of the sun. So as far as I'm concerned, the sun is above me, unless maybe the rare case I'm on top of a mountain and I'm watching the sunset, and then maybe it's a little bit lower. But that's not going to happen here in Oklahoma. So we're going to go ahead and just assume the sun is above us. And Quill, I'm going to take some portraits, okay? Okay, here we go. And Quill, bring your chin up just a little bit. And okay, so we're looking at the mask of the face. This is going to see if this is our do or die moment. Are we going to work? Are we not going to work? Apparently we're not going to work right now. Okay. Okay, we're beach balling. Give us 1 second. This is like a real life situation here. We went to sleep, and now we are back to it. Hang on. All right. Well, Quill, we're off. We're not doing so great right off the bat here. So, give us 1 sec. I'm going to turn this off. A beach ball is never a good sign whenever we're doing this. And we did have a little rehearsal ahead of time, but not enough to. We're just going to we're going to hard boot this. Okay, guys. You didn't know you're going to have a real life scenario here. Just so you guys know that as we're rebooting this, any camera that you guys have is the best camera that you have. So whatever you have with you, that is your go-to. So if something is happening in front of you, you shouldn't have any excuses saying, I need fill in the blank, especially if you have a device with you where you can basically shoot right there on the fly. Bear with me, Quill. We got this. I think. Okay. So this is like your Monday, all right?
It was 2000. So what's the advantage of a camera over a telephone?
So a number of different things. You have a lot more ability to control creative controls. And so with those creative controls, we can control our depth of field. I know that through some of your devices, you have an interpolated depth of field. So that all comes up with like a portrait mode on, say, your cell phone, where the lens is not really giving you, it's basically just the computer software built into it. I wouldn't get too hung up on the whole pixel count, but certainly something to consider. Let's go right here, new session. I can't. Okay, so hopefully by the time we get done with this, we'll say I can instead of I can't, right? Okay, so let's get past this guy. All right, back to this. Let's just make sure. Quill, you're doing great. All right, there we go. So, give it 1 sec. Here we go. Now this time with feeling, right? That's the better expression too. Okay, so we are back up and running. I guess we went into permanent sleep mode. Okay, so with this, a couple of things I want you guys to check out, and that would be right here, where we can get into the catch lights of the eyes. We want to make sure that we have a nice little catch light. We're also looking at a shadow, the mask of the face. So when we think about a face, we have, basically an oval. We have, we're stereo vision. We got eyes here. And so what we want to do is we want to have that dimension. So a little bit of shadow is a good thing. In some cases, you might want to smooth people out. And that would be, for example, say somebody is super concerned about the way they look. Now, Quill's perfect, right? Another thing, you guys have probably seen this out in public. I know I've certainly been victim to it for us slightly taller people. When somebody does one of these pictures, okay? So I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to, get rid of this. This does happen. This is a side effect of eating sugar and good times and, genetics and all that. But generally speaking, let's just focus on, expression. And I would say that, being somebody who's been to a few funerals, like I'll say like my family's funerals, I've never thought, man, if they would have just shot the photograph slightly different. Instead, we just need to love them just the way they come. So part of that, we can just look at the focus of light and how the shadowing comes on here. Now, Quill has no problems at all. But one thing I want to say is let's sit tall. I'm not going to touch you, but we're going to sit tall. Okay, so with this, as we're looking at the human body, I want you guys to think in terms of like a stick figure. So we have like a line that goes straight down us, and then we have a line that goes across here, and we have a line that goes across here. Now, of course, we're going to focus on the upper part of the body, but you do have the other two lines and the other two lines, but we're just going to focus on this. These are going to be sort of your control areas of the body, and this is where it doesn't matter if you're large or if you're thin, where a great photo can come and it can exist at any and all times, okay? But sitting up straight is going to be a good thing. My mom has called me out for, sometimes like, you got to sit up straight in your photographs. And that's, coming from my mom. She's 84. She's 84. And this year she'll be 85. So, all right. So, Quill, we're just going to do this. We're focused on the mask of the face. And I'm going to have you rotate your knees this way. And so, just like so, and bring your chest right there. Okay, so with this, I'm going to focus on where the light is hitting the face. So think of this as a window. We just happen to have big windows over here. The majority of the light is towards the camera. I'm going to, assuming my camera is right here. Okay, and right here. You guys are able, oh, that's a terrible place for that. Let's move that out of the way. Okay, so with this, what we're doing is we're filling in the side of the face. Now, this is a good way to handle, let's say somebody has a thinner face. Having the majority of the light on the side of the face that is coming to the camera lens will fill in that space, okay? Now, again, you're perfect. You don't have to worry about a thing. I'm going to move my light, and we're going to do something a little bit moodier. And I would certainly say don't be afraid to have a little bit of mood in your photographs. All right, so Quill, we're going to have you point your knees the other way. Okay, so from here, now, if the camera is over here, we have much more shadowing on the face towards the lens. Now, this is a very flattering thing, okay? This is going to slim the face a little bit, okay? So some people have a rounder face or a fuller face. This would be a good way to basically bring out the best for their visual appeal. I wouldn't say there's a good face or a bad face. I'd say we all have beautiful faces. So, yeah, that's right. That's right. Okay. And so we're imagining we're sitting tall. So we have an invisible thing that goes through our spine, comes out the top of our head, and goes right like so. Boom. And this is looking good. And then bring your chin a little bit further this way. And then, so Quill doesn't know me at all. So this is the very first time being in front. So give me like just a little, there we go. Love that. Okay, so pulling out a little bit of expression here comes a long way. Now, just notice the shadowing on the face. So now we have more dimension to the face. So we call that three-dimensional contrast if we're getting into technical terms. But having that shaping, that dimension, we can add either drama, we can change the mood of an image, or we can, put somebody's best face forward, if you will, okay? And so far, I've only moved the light, maybe a foot. So we haven't done anything, really. Let's do another example. You're doing awesome. Are you feeling good? All right. Thank you for volunteering, by the way. So we are going to bring this more straight on. So think about you have a window light, and we'll give you a chance to utilize the window light here in just a few minutes, where you can bring this up and then just really look. And I'm going to challenge you guys, since so many of you guys brought cameras, is to look at how that light is affecting whoever you're photographing. So whether they're to the side, I'm assuming I'm getting a little side light here, whether they're more towards the light, or whether they're straight in front of it so they're receiving as much light as they can. Okay, so here we go. We're going to bring this over. That's what I said. I'm going to bring this over. You're doing great. Okay. Bring this over here. We're still looking good up top. I know that we're getting a little bit washed out. Hopefully everybody further back can see the image nice and big up top. Don't want to trip over my leash over here. Okay, so I want you to look straight at me. Okay, so still dealing with the beautiful catch lights in the eyes. We're alive, we're well. And we're going to come right in here. And 10% happier. There you go. Perfect. Okay, so now I can't tell you guys how to connect with your subjects, but I've been doing this for like 30 plus years. So they wound me up, they put 2 quarters in me, and they handed me one of these, and I was off and running. And at that point in time, I think I'm probably under 100,000 portraits, but I'm over 10,000. So somewhere in there is a sliding scale, and I figure there's a few numbers there. So that's a lot of different faces, different shapes, different sizes, different colors, all of the above. And the main thing, everybody should have a great portrait, okay? So think about your LinkedIn profiles, your social medias, your Facebooks and all that stuff. That's a chance for you guys to show off your wares. Okay, so we're going to do 2 more things, and then I'm going to let you take a breather. So Quill, I'm going to have you stand up, okay? And I'm going to pull this out of the way. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Now, this is full body, but even though we're going to still focus up here for this demonstration. So I want you to put your weight on your back side here. So if you had 1 foot forward, I want you to put your weight on this hip, okay? So which foot? Okay, all right. So rotate a little bit more towards me, okay? And then I'm going to bring this light over here because I like there to be a little bit of shadow, a little bit of shape. Okay, now what we're doing is, remember I said we have basically a stick figure, we have a line going down through us, we have one going across here, one going across here, okay? These think of this as like, almost like we're like one of those figure dolls, right? So weight on the back foot. This kind of gives us like a little bit of a slimming feature. If we imagine there's a invisible line coming out of our forehead, so I'll use myself as an example. So if somebody said, bring your forehead towards me, not your face, your forehead, I would say, okay, so I'm imagining whatever my face, whatever angle I'm doing, but I would imagine this little line coming out, and I just kind of bring it towards me, okay? So before and after. It's little minor things. I'm not necessarily chickening my head out like, okay, just a little minor, just from here to here. Okay, now you don't have to worry about that. We'll give you like 30 years. Maybe worry about it back in 30 years. So what we're gonna do, same thing, okay? So I'm gonna shoot you a little, let's have you just like you are. Let's straighten you out towards me. Body, your feet are in the right place. Okay, okay, just like so. And now we call this football shoulders. So football, like you got football players, when you see them on TV, I know is this NFL Sunday? Or the Super Bowl Sunday? No, is that next one? Okay. I don't watch football, so sorry. Anyway, you see the football players and boom, there they are. They got their shoulders, big shoulder pads. We call this football shoulders. This doesn't look great on everybody, okay? It looks good on some people, especially if they're in uniform and they're getting ready to play football. But there's a time and a place for everything, okay? So I'm gonna have you rotate a little bit like so, all right? You're doing great, all right. Minor change. Now you can't see it real well up there, but you can right here. So we brought the shoulders just simply a slight change. And we have the option at this point of one shoulder up, one shoulder down. And it's gonna have a different look or vibe. So you cool with doing, okay. Okay, so yeah, we'll do this. We'll start shoulder back, and you feel free to put your hands on the hips. Don't worry, we're still focusing up top, okay? Perfect, okay. So this is front shoulder up. You're doing awesome, right? This is cool. All right, very cool. Okay, now we can't really see it well up there, but you guys, hopefully you guys can see this right here. Now let's flip-flop that, shoulder down, okay? All right, at this point in time, take that other hand, put it on, yep, on the hip, and then push that other shoulder up. No, other way, yep, boom. Okay, totally different vibe, okay, guys? Same person, right? We didn't switch people yet. Same person, bless you. And boom, just like that, totally different expression. And then Quill, bring your chin this way just a little bit. Right there, all right. Big smile, perfect. Okay, you're doing great. Now think of this as your personality traits, okay? So, some people are kind of a lean-in person. And then some people are like, kind of, I got my posture on my back. I got a little bit more defensive. And we're really, just by changing your body posture, and this would be an example of like when you guys are just hanging out, talking to your friends. Some of you guys, whether or not you're cold or not, some of you guys, your go-to might be, arms crossed. You might have something to hide, maybe a little bit defense. Some of you guys might be like Superman, teacher pose, professor pose, whatever you want to call it. Some of you guys might be, hands in the pocket. So really, when you guys are photographing somebody, what I want you to do is like not do like a deep psychological analysis, but you want to do like a real quick assessment and then figure out what might be the best for them and what would be pretty simple and brings out the best. Okay. You did awesome. I don't have a giveaway. Yes.
Which shoulder technique do you think feels fit them best?
Well, let's take a look. So, and this is kind of cool when you have a chance to tether, or this would be the same as when you are, you got your phone and you're showing off your phone. Why don't you come give me an opinion? Now, I always have an opinion, but this all comes down to individual. Do you like this? All right. Okay, so we're going to flip-flop the shoulders here in just 1 sec. Okay. First one, shoulder up, boom, boom. Hand, I don't know what your hand, doing something with your hand, boom. And I'll get your contact information. I'll go ahead and send these to you if you want them. You don't have to, zero obligation, but thank you. Thank you. Now, I just happen to have a mom and a daughter. I don't know who they are at all. But could I have you guys come up here? So this is my family. This is my wife, Karen. She's walking up. This is my daughter, Lexi. And so what happens when you guys are out, you're having a good time? What do you want to do? You want to take a portrait. You want to memorize what happened, right? Okay? Like, I don't know, I don't know where people go. We go everywhere. So, and we want to take a whole bunch of pictures when we do. Now, a couple things that can happen. So, Lexi, have a seat. That's my daughter here. Violinist extraordinaire. She did amazing. Last night, we even met Mr. Dean Van Treese. And yeah, big name here at TCC. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, we're just going to rotate you like so. I can do that. I'm her dad. So I want you to put this foot right here. And all right, so we're sitting tall, right? Sherry knows this. Necklace, by the way, any accessories? Men have ties. Men can also have necklaces as well. But you want to make sure they're centered. Otherwise, you could have a great portrait, and then, you have your necklace, and it's like, boop, off to the side, and it just ruins the portrait. Or ties, you get them kind of whacked out at the top. I spend more time making adjustments on men's ties than I do women's necklaces. I just want you guys to know. Okay, so this is my wife, Karen. She's going to come in here. So why don't you come snug up right behind her. Nope, this side. Okay, bring face in. So in this case, I'm going to try to keep their faces kind of on the same plane. And I want to make sure that I don't have basically shadow blocking the light. So good light on daughter, good light on mom. Somehow I get thrown into the photos, and it's normally one of these, take a selfie. Matter of fact, I might do that here in just a second. So with this, you guys just look right here at me. Yeah, okay. Put both of them on this leg. Okay, all right. And look at this. Didn't even know. Here we go. Big smiles, bigger eyes, Lex. There you go. Okay. And then what we want to do is I want them to feel a little bit closer. Now this is a little bit more posed, okay? So we're gonna put like a little Olin Mills sign next to it or something like that. So what I want to do, Lexi, I want you to tilt your head towards mom just a little bit. Tilt, no. Okay, and then mom a little bit towards her. Okay. All right, so again, we're still looking at those beautiful bright eyes. And here we go. Here we go, 1, 2, and 3. Now I'm going to ask for mom. I want you to bring your forehead towards me just a little bit. Just forehead. Just imagine there's an imaginary little string. Yes, there we go. All right, and Lexi a little bit happier. Here we go. Perfect. I know. Perfect. Okay, so even though this is a little bit contrasty, you're still able to see what we're doing here. Generally, I would want this to be a little bit softer, a little less contrasty. I can always do that in the computer in post, but these are some things that I want you guys to consider. I want you to consider where that light's coming from. If you guys happen to have a very common thing where one person is considerably taller than the other person, sit the person down, okay? Okay? It's not complicated. So so think about like Shaquille O'Neal. I don't know anybody as tall as Shaquille O'Neal. And I would imagine anybody that is his spouse is going to be a little bit shorter. Shaquille might have to sit down just a little bit and then have their loved one right next to him, okay? That's an extreme example, okay? I think, was he 8 foot tall or something like that? I don't know. I'm making up numbers. You can fact check later on. Okay, so couple more. All right, so Karen, I'm going to have you come over on the other side. The other spot is I want you guys to think in terms of when we're talking about composition, how are we filling the composition? Now, we don't have, a beautiful skyline right behind us, but when you guys are out and about having a good time, just think about how do I show that skyline and still get a good portrait of your loved ones. So, for example, a couple years ago, we went to the Czech Republic. We were on the St. Charles Bridge. And it's like, okay, how do you get a picture of where you are and get your faces? And, it was a matter of just composing, with the little, I guess it's the big castle on the hill in the background. So, something to think about. All right. Now, I am shooting mainly vertically. Same rules apply horizontally. All right, so sit tall. Yep, hang on. Don't want her to go anywhere. Okay, and here we go. Looking good, big smiles. Now, all I did here, Lexi just a little bit happier. There we go. Okay, and by the way, I would just want to say thank you to these guys. This is a nice portrait. I mean, first thing in the morning, we had like a eyelash situation, so they were a little tardy. I mean, we are at a college campus. We got to have good excuses, right? It seems pretty good. So the thing is, I want you guys to just keep it simple when it comes to portraits. Think about where the light's coming from. So preferably, you don't necessarily have the light behind your subject. Make sure the light's hit in their face. Now, there are times and places where the light behind your subject works. We'll save that for the next seminar. We tried to keep it as simple as possible. So everybody, I saw a lot of hands with cameras. I would love for you guys to pull them out. And if I could have somebody bring the shades up. Okay, we're going to bring the shades up magically. You see? Okay. And what you'll see is we have this beautiful row of windows. We also have another row of windows on the second floor up there in the mezzanine. Which, by the way, here's the secret to this building. It's almost impossible to do a bad portrait up on the balcony mezzanine out there. Because the light's coming, it hits the building across the way, and then gently rolls back, so you have this nice soft light. So what I would love for you guys to do is pick a partner. This is a chance for you guys maybe to meet somebody new and take advantage of what we just talked about. So look at catch lights in the eyes, look at the way the light's hitting the face, and you guys probably can see we got soft light coming in through the windows, so we don't have anything direct and harsh. In this case, this is a little bit more direct, a little bit more harsh, just because we're doing a demonstration. But okay, we got 10 minutes. I would love to see you guys in action. I'll just kind of walk around if that's okay. Maybe even sing a little bit to you guys because I have this headset. Okay, so feel free to stand up. Yes.
How do you get on the
There's an elevator right over here. Okay. Or there, okay, Cindy will show you. And then if you don't, we have a beautiful stairway corridor. I don't know if the public have access. Okay, you guys. Okay, we can open that up. But yeah, explore, and you know. Okay. Yes.
Am I going to talk about how to handle glasses glare and then
Sure.
soft light, window light versus studio lighting? The height of the light is important too. So
Oh yeah, the sun. Okay.
on that, just above their heads.
Okay. So we don't have any glasses right here, but just to answer a question, the question was, what do you do with glare? Okay, so two things. You guys have the ability to see what you're doing. So like with this, we don't have a strobe going off. No, okay. Sometimes I have reading glasses in here. There's a couple things we can do. You could either A, tilt them, and that's, you know, if they're pressurized on the side of your head, you can tilt them down just a smidge, not a lot, a smidge, and basically you want to look for where does that light hit into the glasses. Now, there will be exceptions. So my mom, remember I said she's 84. Actually, she has macular degeneration, but when she used to wear glasses all the time, she had trifocals. So it was almost impossible. So at that point in time, you're going to have to move around and figure out where the minimal amount of glare, because she would have glare on both sides, over the top, just due to the nature of the glasses. Would you want to come up here? Okay, it'll be real quick. Okay, so we're going to do like a little bit of a demonstration. Glasses are a situation. Now, the prescription does change how you would handle this. Okay, so great question. Well, yeah, let's see, but then that's cheating, right? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go and get some glare. Okay, you cool with that? A little glare. So I'm going to bring this down. By the way, thank you, Karen and Lexi. Okay, so right here, I'm going to have you look at me right there. Okay, so let's just do this. This is a good question. Now, this is assuming you're not shooting just window light. So in a case like this, we do have some glare in the lenses. If we're dealing with a window, what I want you to do is just take your fingers under your glasses and just bring up the backs, just the back. Just a little bit. There we go. Okay, so this, even though this would maybe not be the instantly natural situation, we have quickly alleviated, there you go, quickly alleviated the glare on the eyes. There we go, that's better. Second shot was the better shot. But this is a challenge, like I said, other than the trifocal situation. Trifocal, we'd still have glare somewhere. If you have glare somewhere, try to look and make sure that it's not directly over the eye. So at that point, you could have the glare, still having glare, just have it off to the side. And the idea is you want to minimize the glare. Okay? Okay, there we go. The other thing you could do is raise your light up. Okay, any other questions? 5 minutes. Okay. Any other questions? Yes.
So we're not going to have a wonderful black drop problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
Four white walls in an apartment. What would you recommend for a backdrop?
Oh, for a backdrop? So that comes down to like, so you want a situation like this. Oh yeah. I would minimize your wall or figure out what you want in the background. So for example, we have all these paintings. So if you had like sort of a centerpiece, I wouldn't necessarily center a portrait dead center of, say, like a painting, but we could have it kind of off to the side as just like a little bit of the detail.
So what's a good background color?
A good background, oh man. That's it, okay. I shoot a lot on white. Yeah, I do. But that's probably more about what I do. I have a studio, and it's basically white. So it all comes down to trends or how you feel. A brown wall, or a white wall. If you take light off of white walls, you'll end up with gray. So you have all those different variations. So it depends on where your light is and how it's coming in, and your distance from your subject to your light to the background. So if you had like one light, for example, like this, we'll call this the moped of lighting right here. It's one light. Okay, that was a reference for somebody. You guys, just smile. So it's a moped of light. But so let's say I'm lighting my subject here, so I look good here. But the further I'm away from the background, the darker the background's going to get, even if it's a white wall. So white turns into gray. We go even further, white turns into black. So it just depends on how much light's hitting that wall. Okay, this is good. I'm liking what I'm seeing. Okay, any other questions or yes?
So what is the best color to wear for a portrait?
Best color. Okay, so this comes down to personality. Okay, so
Not skin tone?
I mean, it could be. That could be its own look. Skin tone, skin. That could be its own look. The one thing I would say that, like, if we're going for a portrait that you're going to print out and put on the wall, I would try to keep patterns simplistic. So, for example, like plaids. Like if you had plaid on top of plaid on top of plaid. Now, if you're in Scotland, we got to go with the plaid. But here we are in Oklahoma. Maybe we go a little more solid. You don't necessarily have to do black on black. I realized that when I got here. I was like, hey, I'm in black. But, really what you feel comfortable with. But, like, you look awesome right now. I love, like, the brightness, the white and the blue. White and blue, I would go with that white background or a lighter background instead of white and blue on the brown. I would go with something brighter. So really kind of comes down to what you're wearing. So, upper body? Oh, no, I do the whole body. Yeah. But in this case, I wanted you guys to be able to see what I'm doing. Excellent question. Yeah, no, the entire body is important. Although a lot of times when people come and they get photographed or have their portrait done, they forget about their shoes or their feet. Or they put too much emphasis on their shoes and feet. So those could be either your fancy fancy Nike shoes that are bright and colorful to your ladies' high heels. And it's like, oh, I want to show the red bottom on the bottom of the shoe. I'm like, that's not, I thought we were doing portraits. Just because you spend a lot of money on your shoes doesn't mean that anybody really cares. Sorry, guys. Yes.
Combined
Yeah,
here.
for sure.
Okay, we want to know what your camera settings are for a continuous light versus a strobe. And
Oh.
the other question is, we think it looks gray up there, but that could be a screen.
Oh, that's the screen. It's just getting washed out.
Let's get washed out.
Yeah. So we when we first set up, we didn't factor in all the spill from the light itself. So
But then a couple more questions.
yeah,
So he was wondering, I told him a light meter would help, but
it would.
how do you keep black, and white on your camera settings?
Okay, black, white.
It's a no gray.
Okay. Well, that's going to have to do with your exposures. So that's and the way I determine the exposure, I'm quite literally eyeballing.
Point where you can really see. Yeah.
But I'm also looking at a computer screen. So I knew that if it looks good on the computer screen, then it's going to look good up here for you guys. So I call this, it's tethered capture. And then I'm just basically making an assessment based on this. And I can make this light brighter, darker. I just wanted to pick a middle ground.
What are your settings?
I'm at f4 at 125th, but my ISO, since we're indoors, is like 1250. So a lot more sensitive. I know this, at that point in time, it's just technical. Yeah. And then we just have to work on portraits. How cool. Very cool. Well, I see I'm getting ready to, they got a crook. They're going to wrap around me and they're going to pull me off the stage.
Thanks so much.
Hey, thank you. Yes.
So I know you said that, like, the shoulder example, like, shows personality. How would you propose, like, for individuals with, like, disabilities that might be emotionally bound, like,
Oh,
are
yeah.
there any techniques that you have that would help show their personality?
They would not be able to portray the body.
For sure. Okay, so the question, guys, is if we had anybody with like disability, wheelchair bound, how do we get a good portrait? Well, first off, we want to connect with the person. So we want to kind of know how they feel, because really a portrait says so much about the individual, and we want to make sure that they feel comfortable. If they have some sort of, I feel like I'm trapped in this wheelchair, at that point in time, we want to kind of minimize the wheelchair. So at that, we might want to focus more just kind of on the upper part of the body. The other part, they could say, I've lived in this thing forever. It's kind of part of me. At that point in time, you want to feature the wheelchair or whatever contraptions helping them out, just because that might be part of their not their personality, but part of their identity. So you really have to, when you're a portrait photographer, you have to really think about connecting and what message are you trying to tell.